Good evening. Welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here tonight for the always pleasant task of promoting officers to sergeant in the Woodbridge Police Department, which, as you all know and you've all heard me say many, many times, is the best police department in the state of New Jersey. And when I say that, I mean that, and I have evidence of that because, as many of you might not know, every 3 years, Woodbridge Township Police Department is reviewed by the Commission for the Accreditation of Law Enforcement Officers. Law Enforcement Association. It is a national organization that goes all around the country reviewing police departments. And they look at every single policy, procedure, practice, every piece of paper, everything in the department, inside and out, upside and left and right, top, down, you name it. And they always come out with the best review possible of the Woodbridge Police Department. And I attend the closing conference with these people, and they could be from Montana one year, they could be from Louisiana the next year, Illinois the next time. It's people who don't know anything about Woodbridge, anything about New Jersey, but they know police work. And they come in and they just look at us and always come out with the same conclusion. And we are one of the only departments, we're the largest department and one of the only departments in the state of New Jersey. So when I say we're the best, that's the evidence. And you guys all know about evidence, you're police officers. So before actually making the promotions, I'd like to call on Police Director Joe Niski to say a few words.
Okay, thank you, Mayor McCormick and our Municipal Council for providing us the opportunity to make two well-deserved promotions to Sergeant. Sergeants Doherty and Krupinski, your dedication and hard work have not gone unnoticed. We believe you will exceed in your new leadership roles. You have a responsibility to be a mentor and a coach to your officers. You will face many challenges ahead as you oversee their work and care for their well-being. You are a crucial link between management and your officers. We wish you all the best in your new assignments. Mayor.
Thank you, Director. I'd like to introduce the people up here at the dais. We have, of course, you all know Chief Law Enforcement Officer Brian Murphy. To his right is First Ward Councilwoman covering Woodbridge proper and Seawarren, Sharon McAuliffe. To her right, Councilwoman at Large Lisbeth De Jesus. To her right, Fifth Ward Councilwoman covering Colonia, Debbie Meehan. And to her right, Second Ward Councilman Howie Bauer covering Fords, Hope Lawn, and Caseby. And now it gives me great pleasure to swear in two new sergeants and two really, really good police officers. We're going to start with Officer Doherty, who all he did in the last several months was supervise one of the biggest drug busts in the history of Woodbridge Township. He got 4 kilos of coke. I forget the rest. It's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of drugs. I don't do any drugs, so I don't even know what they are. But on your way out the door from the Detective Bureau, you literally had one of the biggest, if not the biggest, drug bust in the history of Woodbridge Township. You deserve to become a sergeant in this police department. Mr. Mitch, will you please swear in Officer Doherty?
Do you, Matthew Doherty, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey? You will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state with the authority of the people. You will faithfully, impartially, and justly enforce all the laws and perform all the duties of the office of Police Sergeant according to the best of your abilities, so help you God.
I did.
Congratulations, sir.
Oh, I think I was supposed to read this. Detective Matthew Doherty is too excited talking about his drug bust. Detective Matthew Doherty is a 10-year veteran of the Woodbridge Police Department. Detective Doherty began his career as a police officer in the town of Springfield after attending the John H. Stamier Police Academy in Union County in December of 2014. In December 2015, Detective Doherty was hired by the Woodbridge Police Department where he was assigned to the Radio Patrol Division as a patrol officer answering calls for service. In 2020, Detective Doherty was transferred to the Special Investigations Unit as a full-time detective responsible for handling intricate and proactive investigations involving narcotics, gangs, and vice crimes. Sergeant Doherty will be assigned as a supervising squad sergeant, Radio Patrol Division, Squad 11. Congratulations again. Next up, I'd like to call Officer Drew Krupinski. And all he did recently was save people's lives over in Royal Albert's Palace, where he acted quickly, using his education, using his training, using his experience, and handle a situation where not only was his own life in jeopardy, but the lives of his partner and other police officers and civilians throughout that lobby of that hotel were in jeopardy. And his quick action and the way he handled the entire situation resulted in, became a great result in that the bad guy's gone, the good guys are fine, and it's because of the quick thinking. Our police officers never want to use their gun, but when they do it right. And literally, his partner, himself, and other officers and public are alive today because of his quick action. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Officer Drew Krupinski is a 9-year veteran of the Woodbridge Police Department. He began his career in June of 2016. He attended the Monmouth County Police Academy and graduated in December of 2016. Officer Krupinski took up assignment in the Radio Patrol Division as a patrol officer. Officer Krupinski handled calls for service and excelled as a proactive police officer. Officer Krupinski applied to the Woodbridge Police Department SWAT team and became a SWAT member in February of 2020. He was selected to serve on a 90-day rotation in the Special Investigations Unit in September of 2022 and returned to the Radio Patrol Division, where his outstanding performance resulted in his selection as Officer of the Second Quarter in 2024. Officer Krupinski, along with his partner, Officer Justin Nerney, were named Woodbridge Police Department Officers of the Year for 2024 at a Woodbridge Police Department ceremony before the Municipal Council, Woodbridge Police Command Staff, and fellow officers. Sergeant Krupinski will take up assignment in the Radio Patrol Division as a supervising squad sergeant. Mr. Mitch.
Do you, Drew Krupinski, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that you will bear faith and allegiance to the same, to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people? You will faithfully, impartially, and justly enforce all the laws and perform all the duties of the office of police sergeant according to the best of your ability, so help you God. Again, congratulations.
I'd like to ask Councilwoman Lisbeth De Jesus, who has a special relationship with the police department, on her agenda, if you say a few words.
First, I would like to congratulate the two officers on their promotion. Job well done. But I feel that overall, all of the men and women in our police department do an exceptional job. My hope is that people outside of these chambers, because all of you guys have the support from council and administration, but my hope is that the people outside of the chambers remember that you guys are just more than a uniform. You are dads, you are brothers, you are sons, daughters, moms. And that's my hope, that as you go out there, you remember that it's all about community, that you build relationships with the people that you do serve, the people that you represent, and that you remember that no matter what, we will always have your back as long as, you know, because we know and we are confident that everyone that goes out there and wears the Woodbridge Police uniform goes out there with integrity and honesty, and that they do the job to the best of their abilities. So again, congratulations. God bless each and every one of you, and congratulations to the families.
And if you want to know how much these two young men are liked and most importantly respected by their peers, look at this room and look at all the people from the police department that are here off duty, you know, in street clothes, even to support Matthew and Drew. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any better than this. Promoting two police officers who really deserve it. And I can't say enough how proud I am of the Woodbridge Police Department tonight and all the time, and these two officers in general. What a day. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here tonight for an annual event, an always special event, as we designate September 2025 to be Pediatric Hydrocephalus Awareness Month. I'm joined tonight by four members of our town council. To my right is Sharon McAuliffe. She's the first ward councilwoman covering Woodbridge proper and Seawarren and the home of Cole Ilions.
Yes.
Very important constituent in the audience here tonight.
He votes now.
He votes now.
Yeah, he's 20. He votes.
All right. Hey,
He's already voted.
did you meet Sharon?
You're going to vote in November?
Yes. All right, 2 years, we'll talk. So fifth ward councilwoman Debbie Meehan covering Colonia. To her right is second ward councilman Howie Bauer covering Fords, Hope Lawn, and Caseby. To his right is at-large councilwoman Lisbeth DeJesus, who covers the whole town. So I'd like to call up the Ilions family as I read this proclamation, and Cole, come on up too. I know I say this all the time every year, but I'm on Facebook a lot, but there's nobody who I have more pictures with on Facebook on all the various pages throughout Woodbridge than Cole Ilions. We go back to when he was a baby and I could still pick him up, and he would come to every concert, and I would see him at every event, and he's still very active, and he's still all over the place, and still getting pictures with the mayor on Facebook. So I'd like to read the proclamation. Whereas the United States Congress annually designates the month of September as Hydrocephalus Awareness Month, thereby elevating hydrocephalus as a medical condition that requires national resources devoted to research and awareness. And whereas Michael and Kim Ilions, national directors of advocacy and executive officers of the Pediatric Hydrocephalus Foundation and founding officers of the Woodbridge Township Pediatric Hydrocephalus Association, have led the national effort to increase public awareness and information regarding hydrocephalus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the key word there is national. These two people whose son Cole is impacted by hydrocephalus have started an event that is national across the country. They are known as the founders, they are the founders of this organization, and what they've done at a national level is absolutely unbelievable. They know all the congressmen, they set up caucuses, they've talked to everybody, they're working diligently to get more money for hydrocephalus research. It's just amazing. Let me continue. Whereas the story of hydrocephalus is most effectively told through the number of those it impacts, with 1 in 500 infants born with hydrocephalus, and more than 6,000 children annually develop hydrocephalus during the first 2 years of life. And whereas the Pediatric Hydrocephalus Association invites representatives from national, state, and local organizations to recognize the estimated 1 million individuals, children and adults, touched by hydrocephalus, and encourages leaders from professional, community, and medical-based organizations and associations to engage with the medical community in the search of a cure, to explore additional treatment options for those afflicted with hydrocephalus, to educate the community by raising the level of awareness about this brain condition, and to provide support to the families and children diagnosed with hydrocephalus. Now, therefore, I, John McCormick, Mayor of the Township of Woodbridge, in concert with the Woodbridge Township Council, do hereby recognize the period from the first day of September through the 30th day of September in the year 2025 to be Pediatric Hydrocephalus Awareness Month, and do further extend recognition and praise to Michael and Kim Ilions and to the parents and families of the Pediatric Hydrocephalus Association for their leadership, dedication, and unfailing spirit and courage in leading the efforts to find a cure for hydrocephalus. This young man and this young lady who's sitting over there, she's very shy, didn't want to come up and be on TV. They just do amazing work. They were hit with this, 20 years ago. You heard Cole's 20 years old now, and just have done an amazing job raising awareness, raising funds, and they've made a difference in the lives of people literally across America. When you think about that, we impact lives in Woodbridge. We get that. We don't go outside of Woodbridge very much and have the impact that these two people have had on people they don't even know, people they'll never meet, but they've made their lives better. And I don't know anybody, very many people, I should say, that can really say that they've impacted people's lives across the country that they don't even know exist, but they know that they're going through the same thing that they're going through. And they don't care if they don't know them. They're helping them. It's just amazing, just absolutely amazing. Mike, do you want to say a few words? Yeah.
What can I say? I've been here every year for quite a while now. This is the first town that has ever raised a hydrocephalus awareness flag. It's the longest running of raising a hydrocephalus awareness flag in the country. So I want to thank the mayor, the administration, John, and the council members for their support over the years since Cole's been born 20 years ago, and of course since we started the PHF 4 years later, 2009, and now we're running for 16 years. We raise money, as the mayor mentioned. We raise money to fund research projects. Our end game, of course, is to find a cure. And as we're searching and researching and running projects to find the cure, we also fund research projects to make better treatment options or find better treatment options, less invasive diagnostic tools that help diagnose if the child or adult with hydrocephalus is in shunt failure. So we're doing a lot of things, trying to tackle this from many different angles. And we run fundraisers throughout the year here in New Jersey, and as the mayor said, across the country to raise money for that goal. I want to thank everybody for their continued support and those that are in attendance with us. We have last year's National Ambassador, Ellery Mendez, is here, who has now turned her crown over for 2025 to our newest National Ambassador of Hydrocephalus Awareness, also from New Jersey, Eleanor. 6 years old and 2 brain surgeries. Cole's 20 and has had 13 brain surgeries. Ellery is 9, 4 brain surgeries. So just think of those numbers. And Jessica, sorry. Jessica's a little old. I won't give her age. How many surgeries? 59 altogether. So add that all up, we're almost at 100, getting close, unfortunately, to 100 brain surgeries for just 4 people with hydrocephalus. What has happened since the last year? Danny Bonaducci and Billy Joel have been shunted for hydrocephalus. So that is one way to get hydrocephalus, is to not only be born with it, but you can also acquire it at any point of your life due to various issues, traumatic brain injury, a blockage in the brain for whatever reason. And maybe the hydrocephalus isn't exactly as a child, but they are all shunted as the same device that we're trying to make better and improve on. There hasn't been any significant improvements in over 50 years on the shunt, a couple of tweaks here and there, but it's still a shunt. It's still the highest medical device failure of any device that anybody uses. And hydrocephalus is also the #1 reason for pediatric brain surgery. So we have a battle ahead of us. We continue to fight the big fight. We have a walk coming up September 20th. We have in April, right before the Derby, we have a Derby brunch that the mayor sponsors. We always have a good turnout for that and a lot of fun, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing. And I want to thank you all again for your support, and again to the mayor, the council, and the administration.
Why don't you talk about the walk, the details?
I can give you some details. The walk is September 20th, which is next Saturday in Edison, New Jersey, at behind the senior citizens at Yellow Park. It starts at 11 a.m., goes to 2 p.m. It is free to attend. Donations are welcomed. But we have a lot of good things planned. We walk around the park to honor Hydrocephalus Awareness Month, and again, all for a good cause to raise money. Thank you,
Mike.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask our Assembly Speaker, Craig Coughlin, who's been at these meetings and is very aware of what's going on with this whole cause, if he'd say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everyone. It's a real privilege to be here. For most of us, and congratulations to last year's ambassador and to this coming year's ambassador, you're gonna help make a difference in the world as well. But for most of us, I was, I guess I hadn't seen Cole a little bit. I remember from the time he was a little boy is the first time I met him. And I think for most of us in Woodbridge, Cole is the face of hydrocephalus. He is from, I didn't know what it was before I met Mike and Kim and Cole. And I think that's probably true for a lot of us. But I don't think any of us are not inspired by the commitment and the love that Mike and Kim display each and every time you see them, and their willingness to take on a challenge and turn it into something special and meaningful to help other people. I think it's something we all ought to be proud of, to say they're from Woodbridge, to say that we know them, and to celebrate that spirit that the world would do a lot better if there was more of. So thank you for what you've done. Cole, it's great to watch you grow up, my friend. And to the ambassadors, thank you and good luck. Thanks very much. Privilege to be with you.
So to the ambassadors, what was your name again? Eleanor. We have a job for you, Eleanor, and Ellery. Eleanor, that's easy to remember. I didn't remember it. Eleanor and Ellery. Ellery, do you want to help us raise the flag? Eleanor, do you want to help raise the flag? You want to come up? Okay. Let's bring up Eleanor and Ellery. Can she come up? We also have in the audience Yvonne Lopez, who was Craig's partner in the New Jersey State Assembly. She's from Perth Amboy, but like Craig, she represents Woodbridge, Perth Amboy, South Amboy, Carteret, and Sayreville. You guys got a big job today now, right? So we have a flag. We're going to hook onto the rope, and I want Ellery and Eleanor, and Jessica, if you wanted to, I want you to, and Cole, of course, I want you to pull the string down and watch the flag go up. I know it makes no sense to think you're pulling something down and making something go up, but that's how flags work. All right, are you ready? Eleanor, are you ready? Let's go raise the flag. You ready? All right, let's get a picture.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us take a moment of silence tonight to honor the lives lost, the heroes who responded, and all those impacted by the tragic events that happened on September 11th, 2001.
Notice and requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied to consider this meeting. The Home News and the Star Letter published a notice on January 10, 2025. A copy was posted on the municipal bulletin board, and it should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bauer.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilwoman Mann.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Councilman Small. Councilman Harris.
Here.
Vice President McAuliffe.
Here.
And President Spiller. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from August 26, 2025?
Motion?
Second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Starting with the second reading ordinances this evening, we're going to take letters A and B by consent. Both are amendments to Chapter 7, the traffic ordinances. The first is for a designated handicap parking spot at 35 Powderhorn Court. The second is a generic handicap parking spot on Church Street, and that's a deletion. Can I get a motion that the ordinance be taken up on both of these ordinances and a public hearing be open?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? The public hearing is now open on letters A and B only. Hear no comment from the public. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, both ordinances be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. We will take ordinances listed as C, D, and E as first reading ordinances. Can I get a motion that these three ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on Friday, September the 12th, 2025, with notice of public hearing to be held on September 23rd, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Finally, President McCullough, we have 19 resolutions listed. Can I get a motion to approve 1 through 19 by consent?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. That's all.
Before we go into the public session, I believe the mayor would like to have something to say.
Thank you, Council President. I would just like to use this opportunity to clear the record after the council meeting of 2 weeks ago, when Mr. Gardner said clearly numerous times that I proposed a 21% tax increase in 1992, which, by the way, was 33 years ago. In 1992, the Cold War ended. Ross Perot ran for president. It was the last season for The Cosby Show and The Johnny Carson Show. Casey Wagner next to me was 2 years old. Megan Kushba behind me wasn't born yet. Based on his comments 2 weeks ago about the township budget process, it's clear that if he ever took the Rutgers municipal budgeting class, he should get his money back. Accountants do not propose tax increases. Accountants shall prepare budgets under the direction of the chief financial officer and business administrator, and both consult with the mayor. Mayors then introduce the annual budget with the mayor's budget message, and councils vote on them. During the first 6 months of 1992, I was not yet the township's chief financial officer, although I did work on the budget during that period, and then for 10 other budgets through 2002, after being named CFO on July 6, 1992. I worked with department and division heads and compiled budgets and put them into proper state format and presented them to the business administrator and mayor, and then the mayor formally introduced them to the township council, not me. I prepared an estimate of the calendar year 1992 budget, which would have increased substantially over the calendar year 1991 budget because of several factors implemented to keep the 1991 budget as low as possible. Revenue estimates were stretched beyond reasonableness. Appropriation levels were kept artificially low, which resulted in emergency spending and over expenditures, which had to be covered then in 1992. Tax appeal refund obligations were ignored. Insurance fund money was stolen and had to be replaced. The year 1991 had an unheard of cash deficit. Moody's Investor Services said it perfectly in a credit report in 1992, stating, quote, "The 1992 budget prepared during an election campaign year included the appropriation of a sizable portion of the surplus to reduce taxes," unquote, and that amount was $5 million. Essentially, the surplus, instead of being saved for a rainy day, was wiped out to result in an artificial tax decrease that set the path for a fiscal nightmare in Woodbridge. No budget was ever formally prepared for calendar year 1992, so nobody could possibly have proposed a 21% tax increase. It simply never happened. And if it were true, Mr. Gardner could simply provide the official published copy of the budget, which by law has to be advertised after introduction and before a vote by the Township Council. He cannot provide a budget document with a 21% tax increase because it does not exist. In fact, in the following 10 budgets through 2002, There was never a tax increase proposed anywhere near 21%, so his statement is completely fabricated. Mr. Gardner also downplays his involvement in all of the activity of the first 6 months of 1992, where he played a substantial role in approving the majority of the budget actions taken during that period when he was the council president, though he denies these facts now. Whatever did happen in 1992 happened because of the Township Council, including Mr. Gardner, whose voting record is a matter of public record. On May 19, 1992, a resolution was proposed to make application to the local finance board, quote, authorizing the issue of fiscal year adjustment bonds of the township, unquote, and according to the minutes, the motion was, quote, carried unanimously, unquote, including a positive vote by Mr. Gardner, who was present at the meeting. This is on page 22 of the meeting minutes. On June 3, 1992, an ordinance was adopted on first reading, quote, appropriating $41,879,241.97 to provide for the budget deficit arising as a result of the adoption by the Township Council of a 6-month transition budget as a part of the changeover to a new fiscal year, and providing for the issuance of the same amount in fiscal year adjustment bonds or fiscal year adjustment bond anticipation notes to fund such appropriation, unquote. And the roll call indicates that all council persons present voted yes, including Mr. Gardner, who was in attendance. It's on page 3 of the meeting minutes. On June 16, 1992, there was a second reading of the bond ordinance providing this $41.8 million referred to earlier, and this motion passed unanimously, which obligated the township to issue up to that maximum amount of debt, and Mr. Gardner was present at that meeting and voted yes. It's on page 2 of the meeting minutes. On June 23, 1992, there was a resolution making amendments to the 1992 transitional budget, which was introduced on May 5, 1992, with all council persons voting in favor of it, including Mr. Gardner, who was present at that meeting. This included the fiscal year adjustment bonds referred to earlier. It's on page 7 of the meeting minutes. The transitional year 1992 budget was official at this point with this support. So there you have it. But let's put this in very simple terms that everyone can understand, even if you do not have a financial background or do not understand bonds or notes or budgets or ordinances or resolutions. 3 years later, in 1995, Mr. Gardner ran for mayor against the incumbent mayor who had been serving since 1992 and who was responsible for everything that happened that year, including all of the resolutions and budgets and ordinances mentioned herein. There was a spirited election, including a fiery debate, and plenty of accusations flying around in both directions in the fall of 1995. But not once did Mr. Gardner mention a 21% tax increase that would have happened under the then current mayor and his opponent's watch, and that he would have been responsible for. Not once. I don't know about you, but I think that would have been a really good time to bring up a 21% tax increase and blame your opponent. Raising taxes 21% in 1 year would have been politically devastating, and it could easily have cost any public official their office, but it didn't in this case because Mr. Gardner did not mention it, because it never happened. Yet here he is in 2025 blaming the accountant, and not the mayor at the time, and not the business administrator at the time, and not even the chief financial officer at the time, and doing it finally 33 years later. Had he brought this up then, perhaps he would have not lost the election by a 2-to-1 margin. I am the mayor now, and I am accountable for municipal budgets that we prepare, present, and defend. Our chief financial officer and business administrator, along with their staffs and department and division heads, participate heavily in this process, but I am responsible for the final product. All mayors are. Nobody else is. The record is clear. Mr. Gardner can try to recreate history from 1992 and hide his participation in the budget process and approval of just about every step taken by the 1992 administration. But he can't, because there's a record of every vote on every ordinance and every resolution, and the record is clear. The facts and figures are clear. The votes were cast and recorded forever in the minutes of council meetings. Mr. Gardner needs to own up to his record and stop blaming non-elected officials for actions they did not take 33 years ago. Mr. Gardner is by no means a financial expert, but he does know enough to know that he is lying to the public of the Township of Woodbridge about his support for budget actions taken way back in 1992. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. At this point of the meeting, we're going to go into a public session. And when approaching the microphone, please state your name and what section of the township you live in, and you have a one-time opportunity to speak. All members of the audience shall adhere to the township's decorum ordinances, which is posted at the entrance door to the council chambers. The public session allows for 5 minutes. This includes remarks by the speaker and any response by the council president or administration. Where there is 1 minute left, I will alert the speaker to emphasize any remaining points or questions. When the 5-minute period has passed, all speakers are to leave the microphone area and return to their chair. All videotaping must be taken in the designated area. There will be no interruptions from their chairs. Please make sure there are no signs or posters in the aisles, walkways, or exits are accessible. The public portion of the meeting is a comment and a Q&A interaction between the council president and the speaker. The council president presides over the council meeting. Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak at this time?
Are there any comments from the public?
Yep. You can go step to the microphone right behind you in that little section. And you don't need to move the microphone. It is set up so we can hear you. Thank you.
Good evening, all. My name is Lisette Familia. I am a landlord and resident on Judy Drive. I'm not sure that I am here for the correct purposes, but me, my parents, and my family are here just to get insight on what's going on what's going to happen. We haven't heard anything from the township, and we are just concerned.
I can refer that to the mayor.
Yes, we have a meeting tomorrow. We have letters that were dropped off today to all the houses on Judy Drive, Glen Drive, and Dino Drive. We're going to be at the corner of Judy and Glen tomorrow. The reason you haven't heard yet is good news for you because it means you're not impacted by the whole issue. Anybody who was impacted was, we knocked on the doors Thursday night, right before the rain, letting people know that because of the rain and because of the situation, we recommended that they be evacuated. We made arrangements at the Hampton Inn on Route 9 North. We knocked on a total of 18 doors and had 18 families that we thought would be impacted and better served evacuating because who knows, they were very close to the actual issue on the street and the rain was coming, so we thought it was prudent and all the experts at the time agreed. Most of them left. I think only a couple stayed. Of the ones that left, most went to the Hamptons, some went to other places, and then everybody stayed out and for the most part until Monday morning when they all came back. Everybody agrees right now that there is no imminent danger of anybody living in those houses. So the reason you haven't heard from us is because you were not negatively impacted, and we don't expect you will be, but we are going to have this meeting tomorrow. We'll have the Public Works Director there, we'll have the Police Department there, we'll have our building inspectors there, and we're just going to be on the street, nothing formal, no meeting, no microphones, just talking to people. We'll have translators because many people there speak only Spanish. We're going to be there to tell you everything we know. Okay. What we do know is that we don't know what caused it. We'll maybe never know what caused it. There's a whole host of possibilities. I don't even want to mention them because then people will start thinking that we're advocating that one of these was the reason. But all we know is our job is to keep the residents safe. It's a county road, it's not our road. So they ultimately are responsible for its reconstruction, and it is a major reconstruction. They're not going to just pave over it. They're not going to take asphalt away and put asphalt back. They're going to have to dig down and get rid of everything and start over. It's a very serious break in the road. We've had constant contact with the people responsible for the project down below heading out to the river. They've been very cooperative. They're paying for the hotels. They were paying for meals for the people who were displaced. We've had conversations with their architects and their engineers, their construction manager, but most importantly with their geothermal engineer, because right now that's the big issue, is getting devices into the holes so they can read even minor movements in the pavement. They can tell if it moved 1/8 of an inch. And since they put the devices in Friday late, it has only moved 1/8 of an inch in 3 days. So it does look like things have settled. I'm not promising it's going to stay settled. I'm an accountant, not an engineer, not a construction person, not a geothermal expert, but we have the right people who know those things on site. I would also like to say that I'm very impressed with the job our utility companies have done. Elizabethtown Gas has been out there around the clock, including Thursday night when a young man from Ford's named Howie Bauer was there with his hard hat working for the gas company and making sure people were safe. If something happens to that line, if it moves even a little bit, there could be a problem. So the crews were out there fortifying those lines. E&G was out there around the clock. There's
Mayor, we have
telephone
1
poles
minute
if they stretch too far. It could be a problem and lines could rupture and poles could fall. They're out there taking care of things. The water company was out there taking care of their lines. We have sewer lines. Everybody is working together to make sure, number one, that people are safe, and number two, that the roads get taken care of as quickly as possible. But I'm cautioning everybody, this is not going to be short term. This is going to be several months. I also should praise our police department, which was out there with people at every intersection early on before the bollards were placed and all the barriers to make sure people go in the right direction and don't go where they shouldn't go. And we're down to 2 cops, which will probably be there for many months directing traffic. But everybody, this is all hands on deck, and so far everybody has done a tremendous job, and we're happy to talk to you afterwards. Your councilman is Mr. Bauer. He'd be happy to talk to you. And if you want to stop by tomorrow at 4, happy to talk to you then too.
Yes, no, we'll be there at 4, and this is the first I'm seeing this, so that's why we came here, but I guess we'll be there at 4 and we'll ask any questions that.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of people there that can answer things that I can't.
Yes.
And they probably delivered that letter while you're either en route here or sitting here. They just began delivering them 45 minutes to an hour ago,
Okay.
that's why.
So can I tell them in Spanish?
Oh yeah, we'll also have translators. We'll have police.
You can I speak Spanish. See, translate, yes.
We'll have translators there too. I recognize from knocking on doors Thursday night, we encountered a few people who only speak Spanish, but fortunately we had police officers who can speak Spanish, so we were able to communicate with everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Mañana vamos a las 4, vamos a estar allá. A las 4 de la tarde, sí. ¿Ok?
Thank you.
Any other comments this evening from the public?
Mañana.
Here. Kieran.
Paul Lund, Hope Lawn. 2 weeks ago, I brought up a concern about the invitation to participate in the community solar program. I was assured that it's pretty straightforward stuff, that the letter would suffice, but I've dug a little deeper and I've learned a few things. I just want to start, being that I'm a teacher, I'm going to start on the basics. There's 2 kinds of energy, 2 broad categories. One is baseload energy, the kind we rely on. It's fossil fuel driven, that's gas, it's coal, it's oil. It's called fossil fuel. It's been given a bad name, but the fact is today's technology, it is relatively clean, reliable energy, baseload energy. Then there's intermittent energy, the alternative kinds like solar and wind, which is called intermittent because it's not always sunny and it's not always windy. These are industries. Solar industry is an industry that has not been able to stand on its own. It is heavily dependent on government subsidies, meaning to say it's very heavily dependent on taxpayer subsidies. Propping it up is not going to be a service to the people of Woodbridge Township. Now, in my ward, we've got Howie Bauer and we've got Mayor McCormick both signing this letter, pushing it out to every resident, and someone bragged that 140 people in my neighborhood already bit on that. Here's my concern. Will there be savings in 2026? Maybe. You may save 31% on a solar credit. The solar tax credit right now, because it's market fluctuated, market driven, is $85. 30%, I'm going to round it to 80 for the math. You may save $24 if you purchase a solar credit at a discounted rate from the provider. The problem is you're propping up an industry that our progressive governor and God forbid a successive progressive governor wants to chase California and having rolling blackouts for unreliable energy and incredible cost to store energy in times of when it is intermittent, when the energy is not being actively produced by sunny days or wind, you got to find a way to store it. Battery storage is incredibly expensive. So here's my concern for the residents that are buying into this, and how you know something about fossil fuel. You're in the industry. Is that if we save $30 today, we may end up with another 20% increase in a year or two. Since 2017, we've lost 20% of our baseload energy chasing wind, chasing solar. 20% loss. It's not surprising we had a 20% increase in June of this year. And we decommissioned a nuclear power plant, clean energy. The environmentalists should have been thrilled to keep it. We should have more nuclear. We should have more gas-driven power. Even the plant in Caseby, I was all in favor of. We need reliable, clean energy. Pushing wind and pushing solar on the residents who are unsuspecting and not as sophisticated in their knowledge about this is a bad idea. Secondly, I want to mention Mikey Sherrill and her disingenuous ads about Jack Ciattarelli. All she's got is claiming he's going to raise taxes by 10%. I'd like to find a conservative governor who's actually going to cut the cost of government. I'll give you an example. Former Mayor Owen Henry in Woodbridge, similar-sized township, held the line on taxes in his town for 6 years straight. Here we're producing all kinds of money, all kinds of revenue from all these what's that gimmick? Pilot programs and such. And we fulfilled our affordable housing, and you still want to build and
Mr. Lund, you
overdevelop
have
on
1
top
minute.
of overdevelopment. You generate all that revenue, it's already spent. 30 years, you say, it's going to get about $1 million from Metro Park, and it's already spent on the schools around here.
Mr. Lund, you have 1 minute.
I find it problematic. If Owen Henry, a Republican from Woodbridge, can hold the line on taxes, why can't we?
Thank you, Mr. Lund.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Hello, Madam President. Ken Gardner, 101 Scoter Avenue, Woodbridge, also known as Mr. Gardner.
Good evening, Mr. Gardner.
Good evening. I want to thank the mayor, first of all, or Mr. McCormick, for pointing out that property taxes did not rise 21% when I was council president. Thank you very much, Mayor, for the long speech to make that point. I have an email that I sent to the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, Speaker Coughlin, as well as the council a year or two ago, asking for traffic improvements because of the problems with all of the building that's taken place and the increased risk in the area between Green Street and Amboy Avenue. This was copied to the council as well. I did not see this item on your agenda, Madam President, but I did see that a propaganda piece was put out by the township with you and the mayor standing there taking credit for an idea that I had brought up some time ago. I would expect that you at least give me an honorable mention. In addition, there was talk about this purchase of 2 properties in Seawarren along the waterfront for $600,000 of our taxpayers' money. We proved back when I was council president in the early 90s that those properties could not be developed. So I really can't understand why the township wasted $600,000 of our taxpayers' money on properties that haven't been developed for all these years and could not be developed. Also, an item that I don't see on your agenda is Woodbridge Center. The mayor a few meetings ago pointed out that he believed that the most important issue facing the township is Woodbridge Center and what may happen with that property. I would have expected that you would have put that on your agenda immediately, Council President, Madam Council President, but I don't see it there. What I would say is that if I were elected to the council, the first item I would place on my agenda is overdevelopment and the township zoning ordinance. As I think you know, the council is responsible for establishing the zoning ordinance. They set the rules for what can be built in town. I would emphasize that I would put forward an ordinance that would stop all this ridiculous apartment building in town. The second issue I would put on there is Woodbridge Center, since the mayor pointed out it is a very pressing issue. We're all concerned with some vacancies that have taken place there and what the property may become. I did see something that the mayor put out a while ago where he did not rule out additional apartments or housing there. But I would ask that the council seriously consider that. God forbid anything happens to the place. The last thing we need is more apartments. We certainly have enough. We have enough traffic, enough already. Please stop all the building. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Madam President, I wanted to add, I started on the council in May, and I worked with the administration and the council about one of my agenda items is economic development, with Woodbridge Center Mall being under there, having worked previously with the mayor in my official capacity with the state, talking about Woodbridge Center issues. So, yeah, I've gladly taken that off your plate, but happy to work with you should you wish to add that to your agenda.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, Tom Maris, Forge, New Jersey. A couple of comments. I just want to point out, too, that I understand certain times the dialogue gets a little heated, but since the council enforces a 5-minute limit, be it the mayor or anybody else, don't set precedent by allowing people to go overhand, even if you have to gavel down the mayor. But tonight I would agree that was a very important topic, one that could be addressed while those people were here. So I do understand it. Sometimes leeways have to be made. But again, don't set a precedent like happened last time or tonight. I just suggest that you don't do that. I want to thank Director Niski. I had a meeting with him last week. We talked about the bicycle ordinance. I think a lot of people are in agreement that it needs to be even stronger than it is right now. Excluding anybody under 17 from penalties should be looked at. Perhaps a warning should be given to that child or to the parents if the child is committing an offense and riding their bicycle or scooter, or whatever that vehicle may be, in a prohibited area or in an unsafe manner. I don't encourage telling children that because of their age they can get away scot-free and they don't have to obey the laws. We've seen that's happened in other parts of this country, and we don't want it here. I was a little concerned too. The Patch ran an article about the former bowling alley and talked about the fact that he got a 30-year tax abatement. And when I looked at it, they're going to hire 2 to 4 people there, and they have a 30-year tax abatement. I don't really see where that benefits the township that much. There is another one that is quite concerning to me, and there's 2. It's actually, one is Moody's ratings on the township, which are very favorable. We have an AA1, which is the second highest rating that Moody's can give. And generally, it shows that we're doing very well. But there are caveats warning us about where we're at. And again, it's an 11-page document, so I can't even begin to try to read it all here. But it looks, when you look at it, we are depending a lot on future growth of pilot programs, which is to say that between now and 2033, we're looking at maybe 11 or 10 to 11 million dollars extra coming in through the pilot programs, which are currently around $30 million, which would be an indication we're expecting a lot of growth somewhere. We're going to be giving pilot programs to either new builders for more apartment complexes, and we've heard a lot of dialogue going on about more affordable housing, which has to be a component of a certain amount of apartments to be able to do that. So perhaps a little later on, somebody can address that. My biggest concern is that recently the town passed an a resolution awarding Mr. Ralph Mucci and company $3,525,000 in what was termed a just settlement. I'd like to know how that happened, why it happened. Apparently this was done over a period of years till it's finally just recently settled. What was the knowledge of the town council in supporting it? And what benefits do the taxpayers get out of having to pay a $3,525,000 settlement? What did we gain? I know what we lost. The number speaks for itself. And finally, I hope the township will give strong consideration, if we can blow $3,525,000, to go and start a TNR program, trap, neuter, and release program for the animals in this township. I know a lot of people are working very hard to try and do it, absence of any funding from the government, but maybe it is time that we fund it. Thank you. Those are my comments or questions.
You have, Mr. Mayor, can you answer?
Thank you, Council President. The money involved in the Cloverleaf development project on the corner of Route 1 and Route 35, the $3.55 million was not paid by the township, it was paid by the developer who built that project. So we have no knowledge of it. It was a court case. It went on for many years. It was a condemnation, and it's related to the township, obviously, because it's here and because it's a project that we are in favor of. And in fact, Sprouts is opening up sometime, I think it's October 3rd, actually. And I think people are already sleeping out, getting ready to get in line because they're having all kinds of giveaways and things on the morning of October 3rd, 6:30 a.m. they open up. That's nothing to do with the township in terms of our money, our taxpayer dollars. It was all in court. It was money deposited, condemnation filed, fought out for many years, and it was settled, but we didn't have any taxpayer impact on that.
Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, that property was originally owned by Mr. Mucci.
It was.
Okay.
It was, and he failed to develop it over many, many years, despite many attempts to develop it, and claimed it really couldn't be developed. And a new developer came in, and within a couple of years has a major tenant and almost a dozen smaller tenants. It's amazingly successful. It's a wonderful complex. It looks terrific, and we're very happy with it. But no, we did not participate in that $3.5 million and change payment from the current owner to the prior owner. That's outside of our involvement.
So that would
What I was speaking to there, sir, was the fact that the settlement agreement, which I have a copy of, so the settlement and release agreement is made effective as of July 11th, 2025, the effective date between the Woodbridge Redevelopment Agency, WRA, hereinafter, Woodbridge Township,
Mr. Maris?
Maloney Investments.
Mr. Maris, your time is up. If you'd like to, maybe you can continue that after the meeting with the mayor. Thank
I'll
you.
bring it up at the next meeting.
Thank you, sir.
very much. Just one quick thing. The director said he's going to give me information on crime statistics, and I very much appreciate receiving that. I'm sure they're going to look very good, and I'd like to see them. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Bertagli, Woodbridge. I'll make it short tonight. Last meeting I brought up at the by the warehouse in Evanel, and before every project was built, we were told it won't be no traffic, with no children, and we create a lot of jobs. Well, then Mayor last council meeting said, as long as it gets $1.6 million, he doesn't care if it stays empty forever, I believe. As long as it gets this 1 point, what happened to the jobs? We know we got kids, we know we got traffic, but we have no jobs. So I think, Mayor, and now any project that you're building up, you don't mention more, there will be no traffic, there will be no children. We all know it will be more traffic and more children. Let's go back what happened last week in Pertambo and what happened in KSB. Question was, last year, I remember you was in process of selling piece of property to Pertambo. And I was questioning where, it wasn't quite clear where. But again, and I said, you're gonna have to change the boundary of the town then if you sell it to another city. And you said, no, it's not true. Then later on, you people came up, you have a joint venture with Pertambo to build something over there. My question is today, that incident that happened last Thursday, I believe, Wednesday, Thursday, the project that's been done below, whose property is that? Are you part of that project, Township or Woodbridge or Pertambo? Whose job is it? And what you said just today, the people that are doing construction, whatever they're doing over there, they are paying for those people, for those houses. That means that they are taking responsibility because the property is caving down the hill. So please make it clear, do we own part of the project? Are we involved with it? And who gave the approval for those people to do what they're doing on their property over there? Didn't they run the test? Didn't they make it enforced? Because all the terrain and everything else, we know what landslides can do. So don't kind of just give people hope and you put things to that. It's a serious thing. And again, are we involved in that construction, whatever we're going to do over there. I know they're cleaning up those tanks over there. Now, question was, who is going to fix it? What happens to those people? And why this happens? Thank you.
Council President, there's a lot there to unwrap, but let me try. First of all, nobody ever said that warehouses don't produce traffic. Nobody, no, never. There's trucks in warehouses. There's employees that go to and from warehouses. They produce traffic. Not a single person can deny that. Mr. Vitarik said warehouses produce children. I don't know how they do that. There's no school there. There's no daycare there. There's no pre-K there. There's nothing. They say warehouses don't produce kids. They produce jobs. So he wants the jobs but doesn't want the traffic. You can't have that way. The warehouse is very large. It's empty. We're collecting almost $2 million a year in taxes, and we have no costs related to it. In a typical warehouse, we have very little costs anyway. Maybe there's a health inspection. Maybe there's an occasional building inspection. Maybe a cop has to go out there once or twice when a person locks their keys in the car or when there's a fender bender in the parking lot. The costs we incur on a warehouse are insignificant compared to the millions of dollars we collect on those projects over 30 years. And yes, they all are pilots, and yes, they're not tax exempt. Mr. Vitarik didn't use that word, thankfully, tonight, because it's not true. But I don't know what to say as far as his inconsistencies. Loves jobs, hates traffic. The warehouses are fine for Woodbridge. We make a lot of money. They produce very little costs. There's no joint venture between us and Perth Amboy. There's property on the border of Perth Amboy and Woodbridge, and both boards had to approve it. A joint venture implies a partnership that we are involved in the project. We're not. It's simply in Woodbridge. We're not involved in the project when Pliable's opened. It's just in Woodbridge. So I don't know where he's going with this. He is talking about there being a responsibility for the road problem on the part of the company that's doing the project. Nobody has made that conclusion yet. It's a long way from determining who was responsible for that project, for that break in the road. There are a whole host of possible reasons why that road could have collapsed like it did. We sit in meetings with engineers, architects, construction managers, geothermal engineers, utility companies. Maybe the next meeting we should invite a barber who can let us know what's wrong and who caused it. It's ridiculous for him to stand there and say that the company is responsible for it. We don't know that. I hope you have a lawyer if you keep doing that. You can't make those statements in public. You have absolutely no knowledge of a break that just happened 5 days ago to conclude that the company doing the construction project is responsible. They may very well be responsible, but I'm not going to make that conclusion. I'm not in construction. I don't know the details that these engineers know and that the thermal engineers know. They have monitors now in the ground that can tell if that crack moves 1/8 of an inch overnight. And they have alarms on it that will be notified instantly, will take action. Our concern right now is not who's responsible. Our concern right now is making sure the people are safe. And we advised 18 families, as you heard me explain to the residents. We advised 18 families to evacuate. Many did. They were safe. They came back when everybody agreed it was safe. That's the way this works. We're not partners in a project. We're not responsible for a project. We are helping in any way possible because the residents are ours and it is in Woodbridge. So we are helping. We have our building inspectors down there at meetings. We have our police director has been to meetings, our business administrator, deputy business administrator, public works director, planning department people, police officers who are handling traffic, and our engineer. We're down there helping any way we possibly can because we care about the physical safety of our residents. We're not about to make conclusions about how it happened or why it happened, and really nobody should be doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Bruce Banco, Avenel. I get 5 minutes to speak, and I haven't been here this year, so I like to use my 40 minutes. Is that okay with you?
No.
Okay. I didn't see any documents that said I couldn't. Anyhow, Corey's not here, kind of upset. It's been 8 years, about 8 years since I ran against him and lost in the 3rd Ward. And over those 8 years, I had many meetings with him to go over issues. Some were solved, some weren't. And I'm hoping that after the election this year, no matter the results, I can still continue having meetings with him because I think that's how government should work. And the Speaker, Coughlin, also had a meeting with me. I appreciate your time. So last night, I was given the salary of the council, which I was way off. I thought it was $1,100 a month. And it's almost $2,100. Am I correct? A month?
No, that,
$2,100 a month?
no, that's incorrect.
Yes, it is. No, it is. It is.
What's the salary of a council
It is
person?
2,100 exact?
It's times it by 12. It's pretty much what your salary is.
Okay, 2,100, yep.
It is? Okay. With that, there's no mandatory hours, so it's basically a salary job. And this morning I received what the last 4 years, the salaries were for the last 4 years, and they basically almost doubled. You get a raise every 6 months. Is that correct? Every 6 months you get about a, that's what I,
No.
so how often you get a raise?
Everybody gets an annual raise, and other raises in between are evaluated individually or by department or by division, but there's no automatic discretionary raise program.
All right, so is it true in June they received about a $5,000 raise?
I don't have that in front of me, but if they did, they deserved it.
Right. Now, my question is, why was there a $5,000 raise in June? If there was, who gives the raises to the council? Who approves the raises? And how do they calculate how much the raises are going to be?
At one point, Council President, we did a study of all the towns around us. We evaluated the size of the town, the size of the budget, what the town does, what services it provides. And obviously, we found out that nobody does what we do. Nobody provides what we provide. Nobody is as aggressive on recreation as we are. Nobody is as aggressive on youth services. Nobody's as aggressive on senior services. We opened up senior centers. We have 6. We opened up youth centers. We have 3. We have more events in recreation, more police events, more community activities than any other town around us. You all go to all these events. You all are there actively engaging in these events. You all are helping to run the events. Liz and Dan were just out, and Howie were out at backpack drives in Caseby and Hope Lawn and Jacobs Landing. Street fairs, parades, road races, bike tours, summer Olympics, senior Olympics, I'm sorry, parades, you name it. You have a very busy job, and you work a lot of hours. And if you broke down your hourly rate, it probably wouldn't be all that significant. So I will defend your raises. What you make is on par with neighboring towns, less than some neighboring towns, for doing more. So anytime anybody wants to look at what you do on a daily basis and what you're responsible for on a daily basis and compare that to your peers, let me know, and I will participate in that study, and I will participate in those comparisons, and I will defend your salary anytime, because you all 9 of you, deserve everything you get based on the job that you do for the residents of Woodbridge Township. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Mayor.
just wanted to know how
You have 1 minute, Mr. Banco?
excuse me?
You have 1 minute left?
I'll save it.
We performed that analysis.
All right. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening? There are no other comment. Can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Go into the agenda.
Council President, if you don't mind, can I respond to one of the comments that Mr. Gardner made?
Yes.
So I have the meeting from November 22nd, 2022, where Mr. Gardner spoke, and I have a transcript of what he said. Now, keep in mind that was before he was a candidate for office this time, but after he had already previously lost the council race. And it was before he switched political parties, where he was working on the prior party, where he got a job in Trenton, through Trenton, in the Turnpike Authority, and then he switched parties this year back for the second time. Anyway, November 22nd, 2022. Downtown, quote, all quoted, downtown area. We see many of the new apartments now have been opened and now have residents, and certainly we all want Main Street to succeed. That is a pretty roundabout way of saying the apartments are helping Main Street succeed. I don't know how else you can read that. He goes on, I think it was the Chief of Staff, Carol Orlick, that came up with the idea of introducing new residents to the business on Main Street, which I really think is a great idea to get them familiar with the town and, again, to help our Main Street succeed. And really, too, if you think about it, the purchasing power of Woodbridge Township and our 100,000 residents is awesome. So if you're going to buy a bicycle for a family or maybe help Santa Claus deliver one, we have Extreme Bikes built in Woodbridge Auto Parts. If you need your auto parts, great place. And right across the street, you have Nev's Jewelers for some beautiful gifts. A little further down the block, if you are doing some home improvements, you have Carpet Maven, and I've used them before, and they do great work. And a few doors down is Goddess Boutiques, which has beautiful dresses and women's clothing. Not sure how he knows that. But another great store right across the street, and I've been going to Charlie's for breakfast, but I think Charlie's employees are waiting for Nachos Bagels to open because they're too busy over there. They have too long of a line. I think the employees are forming a union over there. Sharon said they want you to get your doors open, so good luck, and hopefully that happens for you in the new year. I know it was a great place, of course, the street. You've got San Remo's Pizza, which has been there since, I think, 1969. So obviously they're good and keep going. And further down, if you want a beer on the way, there's Main Tavern, which has been there forever, too. And across the street, you have Il Costello's, the best fancy restaurant around. If you got the new place that took over from J.J. Biddings, is it called the Brew Company? Been there a few times, another great place. And they treat our public servants well. And also, while speaking about public servants, to our police director, I want to thank you. I saw on Instagram that our police officers are now taking up jiu-jitsu. I got to learn a little bit about that through a family member a while ago, and it's part of a pilot program with it a public topic for a long time, and it's been heard. So to you, director, and other departments that have participated in the program, it's a really great thing to try to de-escalate a situation. Finally, a period. I don't know how these guys do it. I watched the situation. They're trying one another like a tying one another like a pretzel on the floor. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of hard work, but hopefully it gets us through some of the other social issues. I do think our police department does an excellent job. Had some right here in our own Woodbridge. We have had some scary robberies very close to home, and it's a great place. We don't have a lot of that, but when we do, our police officers are out there doing a great job. So he's praising Main Street, flat out said that there's a connection between the apartments and the success of Main Street. Talks about all the great things happening on Main Street, which are only happening because of the investment of the people to bring people downtown with wallets and pocketbooks to spend money. There's leashes up and down Main Street. There's strollers up and down Main Street. It is getting more and more successful. It's all because of the apartments that he now decries because he switched parties and is running against us. So while he's on our team in 2022, the apartments are great. Now he switches party to run against us, and the apartments are not so great. It's all there. It's all on the record, just like I said before. These are his words. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, we're going to go into agendas now. I'm going to go into mine first, since President Spiller isn't here. So I'd like to talk about the Chamber of Commerce. The Mayor's Breakfast will be held on September 26th at the APA Hotel. Please contact the Chamber for tickets. Also, on the 61st Annual Chairman's Award dinner will be held on October the 9th at the Delta Hotel. This is a wonderful event to attend. It honors Chamber and Township individuals and companies for their wonderful contributions to our town. Also, the Chamber is having an unplugged event on October 1st in conjunction with the Woodbridge Fire Department. The Fire Department will be hosting a safety at home seminar to talk about Alzheimer's and dementia care. This would be great for someone to come who either has someone who is on the verge of Alzheimer's or dementia, or just to learn about it for seniors. This is a free event. Go to the Chamber for all details and how to sign up for this event. The Barron Art Center will be Unlock the Mystery and the Mind of Spirits and Beyond. The 7th Annual Psychic Fair will be held on September 20th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Acacia Center. Reservations are required for this event, so please call 732-634-0413 to register. Also, the 18th Annual Barron Arts Fest will be held on October 11th at Parker Press. There will be over 40 artists, crafters who will be selling pottery, painting, photographs, and metalworks, and handcrafted jewelry. This event will be held from 12 to 4. This is a big fundraiser for the Barron Art Center, so please try to come out and support the Barron Art Center. Couple events that are going to be happening in town on September 20th. The 35th Annual St. James Street Fair will be happening from 10 to 4:30. It's an event filled with unique crafters, delicious food, and exciting games and fun for children of all ages. Also, don't miss out buying a 50/50 ticket. It's a very large drawing every single year. Then on October the 11th, we have the Frank Gagnon Memorial Fishing Derby. This is open to all adult or children under the age of 16. So bring your gear, cast your line, and reel in the excitement. And you need to register at the Community Pass to reserve your spot today. Just a couple things that are happening around on town that I just want to give you an update on. On New Street, we will begin to install the new fence for the parking lot. Once all of the work has been done there with the sidewalks and the pavers, the new fence will be getting installed back there. And also on Oak Avenue, we will be installing a new playground for the children to enjoy. Then the fence street, and that's all I have for today. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to, let me see, Corey's not here. Kyle Anderson.
All right. Thank you, Council Vice President. I do want to, before I go in, I just have one mention, but I do want to touch on something that Mr. Lund mentioned earlier, and it's regard to comparing us to Old Bridge. It's a very poor comparison. Owen Henry was the mayor. He was the Board of Education member from 2009 to 2011. He was the mayor from 2012 to 2023. When I first became the county superintendent, the first order of business that I had to take care of was closing down their only blue ribbon school. Cheesequake School, located on Route 34, was closed down, much to the dismay of their community. I spent, most recently, they just had to dismiss, unfortunately, they gave him a one-year contract, which basically says, you know, we really don't have any confidence in you, but they had a very good superintendent, David Cittadino, who is now the superintendent and was hired very quickly up in Wayne because they could not meet their budget. Part of the problem is because they are building down there. They're building down there, but their municipality is not sharing their funds with any of the school district at all, as opposed to what we're doing here. Our pilot program is working. We've rebuilt Oak Tree Road School, which was formerly St. Cecilia's. We just opened a completely redone School 4 and 5. Ross Street School, as my children attended, was completely redone as a state-of-the-art school, and Woodbridge Middle School. All of these schools, so 4 schools in the last 10 years have been either rebuilt, newly built, and reopened. And you're comparing us to Old Bridge. Old Bridge is building. They're building. You go down there, they're building too. And their community is growing. Unfortunately, because of the funding formula, part of the funding formula is whether your population is growing or whether it's declining. Their population is growing, but the formula still recognizes when they were in a decline. So unfortunately, they were also faced, when I met with them, they were faced with the decision. They almost wanted to close another elementary school down there. And they did what they could do to keep it open, but they've now increased their taxes 10%. 10% in the fourth quarter, their taxes went up. Now, yes, it kept their municipal taxes down to about 1.63%, but they're pointing the finger at their school board and at their school administration saying, they're the problem. So you have a community that's torn because they don't get along, they don't work together the way that we do. When the mayor brings in developers that want to develop in Woodbridge Township, there's an agreement, and that pilot has benefited our schools, has benefited our community. So I just think that your comparison was a poor one. From there, I will just take it to our health department is sponsoring a rabies clinic on September 17th from 4 to 7 p.m. Dogs and cats 6 months or older must be licensed with the Township of Woodbridge, and They can purchase that at the time of the clinic. And all animals must be leashed. All dogs must be on a leash, and cats must be in a contained carrier, and only one cat per carrier. And please do not bring any feral cats to this. And that's all I had. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, now we'll go to Councilman Bauer.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Councilman Anderson, you forgot one in my ward, School 25.
Oh,
But
well,
very
how
good.
could I leave that one out?
I know.
All right.
Give you 5.
All
Very
right.
good, thank you.
5.
My agenda's in order tonight, thank you. Let's have a few announcements. Forest Business Community Flea Market will be held on Sunday, September 14th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the public parking lot on New Brunswick Avenue next to the Forest VFW. And Boy Scout Troop 53 open house will be held on Thursday, September 18th at the Fords Middle School between 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. That's all I have tonight, Council Vice President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lizbeth Jesus.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have a few announcements. Item number 7, Police Community Relations. I just want to congratulate the newly promoted sergeants, Matthew Doherty and Drew Kopinski. Congratulations on your promotion. Item number 8, Hispanic Heritage Month. We will be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month on Saturday, September 20th from 12 to 5 right here on Main Street, right in front of the municipal building. Please come enjoy some other food, enjoy music, and just community overall. Item number 10, the Free Public Library of Woodbridge. Our township libraries are offering free classes beginning this month. English as a second language classes and conversation groups will be offered in all locations. A GED course to prepare students for the general educational development test for the purpose of obtaining a high school diploma will be held for 15 weeks on Mondays and Thursday evenings. And they're going to be offering a U.S. citizenship preparation class. Woodbridge Township residents will not be waitlisted and may call Literacy New Jersey to register at 732-486-1777. September is National Library Card Sign-Up Month. On Tuesday, September 16th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Bring a blanket or a chair and join the library for a silent reading party on the main library patio for an hour of peace and quiet reading. Staff members will renew library cards and issue new cards from 6 to 6:30 p.m. On Thursday, September 18th at 7 p.m., the main library will host a lecture to share the rich symbolism of the traditional decorations that accompany the Mexican celebration of the Day of the Dead. On Thursday, September 25th at 7 p.m., the main library will host a financial skills workshop in Spanish, courtesy of the United Way. The workshop which was held in English during the summer, will address developing and managing a budget, setting and achieving a financial goal, and understanding a credit score. That is all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. I just have one announcement tonight. On Saturday, October 4th, from 9 to noon, Woodbridge Township will be holding their biannual free tree giveaway. Launched in 2024 on National Public Lands Day, this free program runs twice a year in the spring and the fall, offering 1 tree per household while supplies last. Each season, a different ward in Woodbridge Township will be selected to participate in the program. This fall, Colonia residents can pick up a free tree at the Evergreen Center on Inman Avenue in Colonia. All residents must register to reserve a tree for a pickup at greenable@township.woodbridge.nj.us. Deadline to register is September 26th. Again, this program is for Colonia residents only, and you must register to get your free tree. And I just wanted to thank Director Niski and the Woodbridge Police Department. I put in a few complaints this month with, concerns with residents about e-bikes and parking issues, and you are always so quick to address them for the safety of our residents. I truly, truly appreciate all your help. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Councilman Patel.
Yeah, thank you, Council Vice President. My agenda is also in order, but I have a few announcements. Tomorrow, that's Wednesday, September 10, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., there will be a New Jersey Property Tax Relief PAS1 filing event at the Acacia Youth Center located at 95 Port Reading Avenue in Woodbridge. representatives from the New Jersey State will be available to assist seniors aged 65 and older or those receiving Social Security disability benefits with filing their 2024 PAS-1 applications. No appointment is necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. And please bring the following documents: Social Security number, photo ID, income documents for 2023 and 2024, property tax payment amounts for 2023 and 24. For more information, please contact the Division on Aging at 732-726-6262. Also, next week on Wednesday, September 17th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Woodbridge Township will host an expression educational seminar titled Senior Safety and Preparedness, Empowering Older Adults for Emergencies. This event will be held also at the Acacia Youth Center located at 95 Port Reading Avenue in Woodbridge. This seminar will provide older adults with essential information on preparing for emergencies, including natural disaster, medical crisis, and unexpected events. Attendees will learn how to create personal emergency plans, assemble necessary supplies, and stay informed during emergencies. We thank the Woodbridge Township's EMS, Police Department, Fire Department, Police Community Affairs, and the Red Cross for organizing such a great educational seminar for the seniors. Appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are also welcome to this seminar. For more information to RSVP or attendance, please contact the Division on Aging at 732-726-6262. Also, we have a Woodbridge Township's community playground in Merrill Park, which was originally built in 1999. It has long been a cherished place filled with slides, swings, climbing structures, and more for local children and families to enjoy. Now our township has undertaken its reconstruction and revitalization as a part of the broader Merrill Park restoration effort. And as a result of the community playground will turn into a renewed, vibrant facility that will continue to inspire fun, play, and community enrichment for our families for years to come. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Township of Woodbridge, Middlesex County, and the Department of Parks and Public Works, and all those involved in rebuilding this playground. And that's all for tonight. Thank you, Councilors.
Thank you. Councilman Harris?
Yes, thank you, Council President. A few items from my agenda. Item number 4, under seniors, I want to congratulate and thank the organizers, volunteers, and township employees who've made the 39th Annual New Jersey Senior Olympics a major success, over 1,300 participants. Congratulations. We hope to see you for the 40th next year. Item number 5, under Mayor's Wellness Committee, I was asked to put a plug in for the free health screenings. The next one is Thursday, September 18th at the Woodbridge Community Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's free of charge, of course. Also under that same item, last reminder about the 18th Annual Tour to Woodbridge Bicycle Tour happening Sunday, September the 21st, beginning over at the club at Woodbridge. 7 a.m. Is check-in, 8 a.m. the bike race starts. You could choose to do either the 15 or the 30-mile bike ride, and you register online at raceroster.com. Item number 11 on my agenda, it's energy assistance. I haven't brought this up since I've become a councilman, but I am familiar with it. I know there's been a lot of acrimony out there about rising electric costs. The state of New Jersey in June announced $430 million for financial assistance to the 3.8 million ratepayers in New Jersey. So whether you're a homeowner or a renter, you're going to be getting $100 deducted right off of your electric bill, $50 on your September bill, and $50 on your October bill. Again, that's for everybody here in Woodbridge Township who pays an electric bill. You don't need to do anything. You'll see that deducted immediately off of your electric bill. The New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, which is the agency that regulates our utilities, they offer a number of state and federal financial assistance programs that you can lower your utility bill, electric, gas, phone, and so on. You just visit www.nj.gov/BPU. That's what was it? B as in blue, P as in Peter, U as in ukulele, to learn more. And finally, last but not least, this is a mouthful here under item number 14, my sustainability agenda item. The Greenable Woodbridge initiative is running a new program for Halloween, just around the corner. Township is hosting 2 Halloween costume-related initiatives. First one is from now until October the 1st. The Township is collecting gently used Halloween costumes from residents. You could donate those unused or no longer used items here at Town Hall or at any one of our 3 youth centers. And then on Saturday, October 4, from 9 a.m. to noon at the Township Health Department, those same items will be swapped, if you will, and donated back to residents looking for a Halloween costume or some Halloween related items for upcoming Halloween. The purpose of this initiative is to reduce waste. So there isn't a new manufacturing of Halloween costumes, and frankly, an opportunity to help out residents with some free Halloween related items. So take a look out for that. Always check the mayor's Facebook page. He always has this information on his website if you didn't catch everything I just blurted out there. And then last but not least, as Ms. Meehan had pointed out, National Public Lands Day is around the corner. As part of that, 33 or 34 years running now, following in the footsteps of Charlie Shaughnessy, a very active member of the Colonia community, is the semi-annual Colonia Cleanup on Saturday, September 27, from 9 a.m. to about noon at the Charlie Shaughnessy Park, located at 571 Inman Avenue. This great park cleanup is rain or shine, and it's great for families to come out and volunteer for a couple hours, and it's great for volunteer hours. And Mr. Brew, I'll be probably reaching out, coordinating a couple different things, and thank you in advance for your public works assistance. So, thank you, Ms. McAuliffe.
Thank you. Councilman Harrison?
Council Vice President, thank you very much. Councilman Harris just reminded me of something on a point that I just wanted to touch on. I know Mr. Banco would just wanted to understand the format in which we are paid. I just want to remind, for years we were paid $8,000 when I first began. We didn't have an increase for several years, and then we've now since caught up to where we've been. On Sunday, I worked for the Woodbridge Broncos Pop Warner. I arrived at 7:30 in the morning. I left at 7:30 in the evening. I'm preaching to the choir to Councilman Bauer, because he did the same thing for Ford's Clara Barton baseball for decades. Councilman Small as well. Mr. Harris, Councilman Harris, has not just started the Colonia cleanup. He did this long before he was a councilman. The work that Councilwoman De Jesus has done with young ladies and promoting girl sports and working in our bilingual community, the work that Councilwoman Meehan will be doing with her breast cancer walks and all of the fundraisers that she's done. I've seen all the work that Councilman Patel and and Councilman Spiller, who's not here. So to turn it into an hourly wage, we would probably be losing money. And I just want to commend everyone, because you're worth every penny. I know that the mayor had said that we're underpaid. There is no 40-hour work week. I do consider this a full-time job. Whenever I go out into ShopRite, my wife ends up leaving me in the frozen food section because someone ends up stopping me and has a question, which I end up staying in the frozen food section for more than we agreed to be there. So my wife no longer sends me to pick up any food for the family if they're waiting. But I just want to say, I know he was asking the format. The first few years that I was a councilman, we did not get an increase. It was an $8,000 flat salary. That was in 2011. I don't think we got a raise until 2013 or 2014. And then we have since caught up to districts that are like our size in our municipality. When I first started, Roselle was 16,000 and we were 8,000. And Roselle is a fraction of the size of Woodbridge Township. So thank you very much for all the work that you do.
Thank you. I can adhere to that too. I have a business right on Main Street.
Yes.
My door is open. I have residents come in there all the time and come and talk to me. They call me at the bagel shop and say, this is where I need to get in touch with you. They'll call me on the bagel shop and talk to me about residents' issues. Nothing to do about placing an order. They want to know about something in town. And we're very lucky because 90% of the times, those issues that I bring to administration are resolved within 24 to 48 hours.
And I know that you've redecorated in your building, but your old building had nothing but plaques of business, of local organizations that you helped, and you helped them raise money, and you donated your time and your business to. So, you know, when you're in business, you know, some people think that, you know, it's for another reason. You've done this, and I just want to commend you as well. Thank you for the work that you do for Woodbridge.
Thank you, everybody, for all the work that you do. Everybody works together very well here, and we have each other's backs, and the administration supports us as well, too. So thank you very much. Anything else? Mr. Mitch?
Thank you, Madam President. Everything's in order on my agenda. Just make a comment on number one. I'll be adding a third item for another investigation for the police to work on a transfer application. You'll have that memo in your inboxes tonight or tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I'm good.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. And Finance and Administration, Deputy Director Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Not to beat this to death, I had a couple notes too, just to comment on. I don't think you guys need to defend yourselves at all. Operationally, I did want to just make a comment. The Business Administrator's Office, we review and implement all raises. Directors, division heads, your rank and file, your affiliated, unaffiliated employees, that comes to us. It's not an uncommon practice. We get it pretty often. Other communities reaching out, you know, what's your rank and file police officer make? What's your DPW director make? Your roads guys? It's a common practice, and that goes to all of us. We have 1,200 plus employees. We review, we implement, we run that operation outside of the elected officials, the mayor. That's our job. Second comment, and the mayor also touched on it, the Smith Street and Caseby stuff, you know, it's like you're going to run into these issues. I just want to make comment. I find comfort and take pride in when these things do arise from our police department. We have DPW communications from the start of it last week. They've all been absolutely top tier. The professionalism is great. I think truly is helping the process. We have great relations with both the county, gas company, water company, utilities, and watching everybody work together. It's been great to see. It's going to be a fluid situation. It's going to continue that way. But it's good to see so far, and I take pride in that. I think you guys all should too, and I think you see it, obviously, on a daily basis. Just on agenda-wise, we have our standards, tax and sewer overpayments. I'll have 100% disabled veteran, and we do have an add-on. We'll be awarding at our next meeting, our Stafford Road sanitary improvements. I think you're all familiar with that project. Councilman Meehan's been pushing that and advocating for the residents for years. DPW's been out there, TVing lines, making repairs. This is the overall efforts we've taken with Colliers Engineering, and it's good to see this finally getting awarded, and work should be starting absolutely before year's end very shortly. Thank you.
Thank you. Police Director Niski.
Thank you, Council Vice President. I have one item on my agenda. It's a handicapped parking space addition on Fairfield Ave.
Thank you. Director Brew.
Thank you, Council Vice President. I have two items tonight. The first one is a proposal from Colliers Engineering and Design, and that's for the intersection of Oak Tree Road and Middlesex Avenue improvements. And the second one is from P&A Construction, that's for change order number 1 to our 2025 million paving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Legal.
Nothing to see in the council.
Thank you.
We get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.